Hello,
Miss,
everyone, and
take it
welcome.
away, Mr. Mike. Don't forget to mention the date.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is the October 30th, 2025, and you have, unfortunately, stumbled into the Last Stop Cafe. Here we are. It is produced and directed in all things that go at enlightenradio.org by Mr. John Case, the original dusty footed philosopher. And occasionally we have handsome this show up a little bit. We have James Boyd come on, but I don't know where he's at, and I'm hoping we get to see him because people get sick and I get sick and tired of looking at my own ugly face. And John's not any prettier. So, and we're not going to get any prettier. So, James is always very, very attractive, and that just kind of makes it better for us. I'm
We'll
Mike
see.
Cuccherini. I'm here to talk about sports and entertainment. Let's get going, John. Let's talk about sports, okay?
Okay, you know what I want to talk about? You know what I want to hear. So let's come, give it to me. Give it to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vaunted at home brilliant Los Angeles Dodgers had their ass handed to them by a starting pitcher who's 21 years old, who just started his eighth game total, fifth game in the playoffs. Mr. Trey S. Savage shut them some bitches down. Shut them down.
Ooh.
I mean, his stuff was flawless, man. He was throwing that split finger and you couldn't hit it. They did get one home run off of him, but that was it. He gave up one, and the rest was just a thing of beauty, man. He pitched, and I gotta say this too. You gotta give that infield and outfield a lot of credit for backing up behind him. Chasing down those balls. There were some catches made that outfield that were brilliant. Barger made one I thought was terrific. It was nice to see Alex Call in the World Series, who was a former Washington National, but unfortunately he was playing for the Dodgers, and I don't think he got a hit. They shut. They really really pounded on Otani. Otani, the vaunted All Star, highest paid player in the league, $1 billion guy, did not play well, and he hasn't played well in the playoffs. I mean, he's been streaky. When he hits home runs. Kind of like Freeman. But when they go cold, man, they go cold. I mean, Max Muncy, all those guys, just Muncy's used to getting, he didn't get shit. Nobody. Will Smith, they had terrible plays. They had errors. They had pass ball throws. I mean, I think the Blue Jays scored 2 runs on pass balls. Those are errors. Those are errors, John.
Uh-huh.
That shit should
Uh-huh.
be taken care of. That shit should be taken care of
Uh-huh.
in training camp.
I want you to know Don Juan is looking at this and
I
wondering,
know, baby. Yeah.
are there traitors? Are there traitors in the
Well
Los
now,
Angeles Dodgers
in
organization?
this. Okay, we played 5 games.
We
We
need to
played.
ice them.
We have played 5 games. Okay, 5 games, and of the five, the Blue Jays have won three, and the Dodgers have won two. Now let's keep in mind the Dodgers did play them well in their home stadium. They're going home to Toronto, which is probably good and bad. I don't know. I don't know that they can slow down this hitting. I mean, when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is on, he's really on. I mean, he can hit anything. He can hit fastballs. He can hit curveballs. He can hit sliders. You know, he can hit anything that's in or out of the zone. I mean, he's getting to the point where he's like his old man. You just, Vlad the Impaler. I mean, this is like Vlad the Impaler too. I mean, it's just kind of amazing. It really is. I mean, and the thing is people got to give this kid some credit. And here's why I say it. This was a guy that came in overweight when he first signed with the Blue Jays. He was a big guy. He was a lot heavier, and he has worked his ass off to be a better player in the field. And it has worked, man. It
All
has
right.
worked. He has made some plays. This guy has taken his stuff to a whole nother level. And I'm just, and Bo Bichette is back. And I love seeing Bo. Love to see Bo Bichette back. He's a great ball player. He's getting back to his hitting style and his hitting capability. So, and I know that Dave Roberts tried to shake up their lineup last night and it didn't work. So, it just didn't work. The Toronto Blue Jays skipper had a better plan. It was pretty obvious. So that's enough
Interesting.
about the World Series. We can look forward to seeing them on
Wow.
Friday in Toronto. That'll be interesting to see what happens. There's a very real possibility that you're looking at maybe a Blue Jays World Series, but I don't know. You just don't know, John. If the Dodgers come in there and win and force a game 7, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I really
No,
don't.
right. No,
Because these
no.
teams are so evenly matched, and it's like really, really difficult to judge one way or the other to bet. I don't put any bets out there. I'm not a betting guy. If I do, it's a silly bet with my wife that I always lose. Something about food usually. And I'm like I have an idea and I'll bet you I can blah blah. And she's like, no, you can't. You're gonna do this. And I shake my head and go, yes, ma'am.
I
So
understand that Melania has told Donald that if they lose, if the Dodgers lose, that he should revoke their passports so that let him stay there.
okay.
I think that's what he's going
I'm
to
not
do.
I'm not referencing back to that. I'm going to go to something a
Thank you.
little bit
That was a really
more
waste of time. That
dear
was really
to my
stupid.
heart.
I know. What
My
can I say?
our hometown NFL football team played exceptionally well in the first half. They went to Kansas City and
I like
they
the way you stay on the positive, Mike.
in the
I'm
second half
having.
in the second half they were just faced with a buzzsaw and his name is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is probably going down in history as one of the greatest improvisational quarterbacks, or if not the greatest, compared to Fran Tarkington. There are, I mean, people can't blow past that. You got to look back and see what Fran Tarkington was capable of doing. That's the thing. People don't go back and look at film, and they should. Um, the point I'm making is, and you can find certain things on archive. You can find things on YouTube if you do the right search. My point is, um, I don't think that the Commanders were prepared to play all four quarters. There was a lot of bad play calling by Cliff Kingsbury. I thought some of the plays were a little bit vanilla. He wasn't hiding anything. It was almost to where they were trying to force the ball into zone coverage. It wasn't working for Mariota. They need to move somebody like Mariota or Jaden out of the pocket. They need to roll them out, start doing those short dink and dunk passes, go down the field a little clip at a time, stop looking for the bomb. But so often they're forced to because they get behind. They get behind in games and they get anxious and they call these big time plays. And now you've lost Terry McClellan again. For how long? Who knows? He re-aggravated his abdominal, his oblique. So fuck. I mean, he might be gone for 5 or 6 more games.
If he goes in too much money, he's going to lose his potato too.
Well, Jaden's coming back. I think. I don't know for sure, but the word is that he's practiced or he's supposed to practice today. Games, I believe, Sunday night. I'm hoping that Jaden's ready to play because they're playing the Seahawks and the Seahawks are on fire. Seahawks are coming into town with a 5-2 record, and Darnell is their quarterback, and he is playing lights out football. He's got a complement of receivers around him. They're young guys. They got a badass defense. They blitz well, and they tackle well. When they hit you, you go down. I wish we could use a little bit of that. I think I've seen too much of people like Frankie Louvu who I expect more out of, be out of position on a lot of plays. Not able to get out into the flat to cover the tight end, not handling their responsibility on the blitz, getting caught up by smaller running backs, not able to try. There's all kinds of little things that are going into this. And I know Dan Quinn worked with the defense this past week going into the Kansas City game, but he needs to work with them a lot more because, or we need to find something. Now we've lost two of our defensive stalwarts. I mean, one of our pass rushers is gone, and let's face it, the defense is old. It's
Well,
a I
that's
mean
true.
Bobby Wagner. I can't say anything bad about Bobby Wagner. He's 35 years old, and I think he's like second or first in tackles per game. But he's running around because he's trying to compensate for how bad the other linebackers are playing. They're just not in position. They're not reading the keys, and I think they're pulling some things away, freeing up the defense to do some things, and that's great. But you got to do them. You can't promise your coach you'll do them. Get out there and fuck up. You can't do it. So, they turned the ball over. Unfortunately, there was a pass that was right to Deebo Samuels. He tipped it in the air to the other guy, to the other team. And that's not the guy you want catching the ball. You should have caught the ball. And we've seen that a lot this year. I don't know why. I think it's probably because quarterbacks are spinning the ball a lot faster. It's coming out a lot faster. And sometimes they can't put the kind of English on the ball because they don't have the time. Say you've got a 340-pound defensive tackle breathing down your neck, and you're trying to throw the ball accurately, you're trying to stand up and fire that ball, and sometimes it comes out a little bit too fast. And I'm not making excuses for them because right now they suck. They're not a very good football team. They're just not. Marcus is playing the way Marcus can play. I don't think if you had Jaden last week, I don't think that. I think the results would be the same. I think the Kansas City Chiefs would have just dominated that football game because we don't cover anybody in the flat areas. We always go to what they call it cover two, or they call it the deep, whatever. I
Are
call it,
you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to use the M word?
what do you mean?
Well, remember the trouble that Mr. Mondale, Mr. Carter got into with the malaise word?
Well, yeah, actually, I am. There's in that locker room. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. I don't know. Dan Quinn may want to get like some electric probe or something and shoot it through the benches so the guys just spark their ass and get going. I don't know. That's terrible. Why
To
did I
get
say that?
to get going.
That's
They need to
cruel.
get
No, I
going.
mean, I'm sure Dan Quinn, to me, I'm not going to throw Dan Quinn and his coaches under the bus. A lot of it's popular to beat up Joe Witt Jr. Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn are still dealing with some of Ron Rivera's decisions in drafting, the last couple of years. Now, coming up this year, you don't really have very many draft picks. The trade deadline's this week, November 4th. I know that because it's the day before my birthday. And it also, I think, happens to be election day. So in Virginia. But my point is I think we were able to hide some things last year. We were able to get away with a few things here and there. Um, I don't see, losing Austin Eckler. I don't know that that was a huge deal. I know that Austin Eckler does certain things on a football field that a lot of other players can't do. Running backs. He's a
If
great
you
receiver.
decided yourself to go out for the team,
Um,
then
that would
the Alliance for Retired Americans would, I just want to say, would be, I'm sure, would be enthusiastic about sponsoring your return.
that would be the worst
Uh,
decision anybody should ever make. Too fat, too slow, too fucking old. Get out of here. Go. Get out. Too small. I'm
yeah,
getting
but you
my ass
might,
kicked.
you
You
might,
really want to see me get my ass kicked? No,
no,
I'm
I
not.
think you would skillfully place your way in the
The
way of
guys on the
oncoming
taxi
traffic.
squad would whip my ass. Are you
Okay,
kidding me?
all right, okay. No, all
Right.
right.
No. That
Well,
ship
maybe,
sailed 100
okay,
years ago, dude.
okay, maybe it's time for aging, it's retired football players
Well,
to form
I had a
a
good, I
ARA
did
league.
something, I did something I hardly have done the last couple of years. I actually sat and watched some of the Washington Wizards basketball team play, and I got to tell you, I'm seeing some good stuff. It's good young players on that team, playing exceptionally well. I don't know. I'm not going to familiarize myself with who's playing in what position and so on and so forth. But I like, even though they lost, they played competitively. This is a competitive team. Last year wasn't shit. This year, I think these guys are going to beat some people that'll surprise, going to wake some people up. People are going to go, damn, the Wizards beat them? Really?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't think they're at the point where they're playoff yet, but they're competitive. And they have to continue to build this young. And the problem with the Wizards is like the problem with the Nationals. You build guys up through your organization, they get really, really good. And then come contract time, they don't pay them. And that's sad. That's really, really a sad statement to how cheap some of the owners can be, man.
Well, I mean, they're in it for the money.
Yeah, yeah, it would appear that way. And the prestige, they've always wanted to own a football team or a basketball team or a baseball team, and they've had an opportunity to do that, and they do that. Now, the other thing that has come out is, John, that I think I didn't spend enough time reading about, and my wife is kind of prodding me, and she's been sending me things, and it's really sad. We knew that this was going to happen to a certain extent when you open up the betting. When all these franchises are sponsored and these leagues are sponsored by, hey, this is
Yeah,
our sports betting people.
right.
These are our estimate sports betting people. Now you got all these people in the country downloading their apps, putting them on their phone and gambling on their phone.
Yeah,
And one, it's an invitation to have your phone hacked. That's
sure.
number one,
Yeah.
constantly. And number two, you really, really shouldn't. I don't think you should gamble on your phone or online. That's just my. If you're going to gamble, go to a gaming facility and do it there instead of having that presence discovered on your phone or your PC or whatever. Because it's just sad. You've got players betting in the NBA. There's been a ongoing investigation from the FBI of these players calling in and saying, "Hey, bet so and so because I'm really not going to play that well." Click.
Whoa.
And yeah, it becomes collusion. It it's the temptation there for money. Everybody needs money because somebody somewhere is screwing somebody. You're going to get in a vice and you're going to get into a situation where you feel pressure from money every single day of your life, 24/7. And you talk about the mob is involved. We know that the mob runs numbers. They've been really good at it for a really long time. That's why they do it because it works and it makes money. And there's sometimes people get killed. So I mean, I would be very very cautious, and I think if you're the commissioner of the NBA or the association, if you're that commissioner right now, what I would do is start putting together some rules quite specific on gambling. I would put rules in place that say you can't gamble on your own sport. What do you think of that, John?
I think that, it would be impossible for any court in the United States to outlaw gambling while they're legalizing what's going on Wall Street.
Yeah, this is true because
I just don't see how ultimately you
that's
distinguish
a
between the two.
you're right. No, my point is if you say to a player, your first offense, should we find out that you have gambled on the NBA, you will be suspended for the rest of the year immediately. And if you say that, most of the NBA players will be like, I'm done. I'm done. They'll take all that shit off their phone because they know they still want that paycheck. And
Well, this
right
is
now,
this.
those boys are getting paid.
Well, and doesn't Trump support getting Pete Rose back in the Hall of Fame, or is he already back? I don't know.
Pete Rose is not back. And
Okay.
Pete Rose does not deserve to be back. There's people in the Hall of Fame that are worse than Pete Rose. Honestly, there are. There are some guys in the Hall of Fame that, wow. But I just, my opinion is, I used to think they should let him back in, and the more I've studied, the more I've seen, the more I saw of him before he passed. I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. I just think you stir up a lot of shit that way. I think I'm not absolutely positive, but I'm pretty sure Joe Jacoby is being voted into the Hall of Fame this year. A former Hog for the Washington Redskins, who played exceptionally well at left tackle, was just instrumental in that big run that Riggins had. He was part of that Hogs. Mark May, who could you could guarantee that Mark May at least one time a game would be called for holding. Um, he held more than anybody. I mean, you had Russ Grimm, who was just phenomenal coach and phenomenal guard. He was terrific. Man, back then I just remember the mole Neil Okowitz playing in the middle every year. They'd bring in another linebacker to try and compete with him in camp, and he'd always beat him out every year. And he was always too small, too weak, too slow, and he led the team in tackles all the time. He ran that defense the way Richie Pettibone wanted that defense run, and they used to beat the shit out of people. I mean, coming to RFK was not a vacation for anybody. They would those guys in Dallas were like, oh shit, we got to go to RFK. God, dog it. It was a real home field advantage back then, man. And I don't know if it's got the same muster now. I've seen flashes. I've seen flashes of what the Commanders could be, and that gives me a little bit of hope. That gives me a little bit of hope. You don't always have that because we've been, the fan base of this organization has been beaten down so much. It's like we have PTSD or something from our previous. We were in a lopsided relationship with the previous owner, who was, persona non grata. Thank God. Just go away, dude. That's fine. Nobody wants to hear from him. And I do think that these things. I mean, this is Dan Quinn's second year. He's not going to have a great draft class next year. are they going to be able to bring up some people who they think are good? I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next year. That'll be his third year. There's gonna be a lot more eyeballs on him next year than this year.
Well,
So
okay. I mean,
that's
if
what we
you're
got
in
there.
the sports world, I suppose you should, look like you can compete.
And allow me to give a compliment to some folks.
Oh
Hey, there
my,
he is. And
handsome!
look at,
Oh my
damn it,
God!
our whole show just got more handsome. Look at that. That's that.
Good
Hot
morning. Good
damn.
morning.
Well, you
Sorry
wish
I'm
Wearing
late.
that Yankees cap. Wearing that
you
loser cap. That
you
cap where they lost. They lost.
we you missed our unpatriotic commentary on the World Series. That
I got
we
my
won't
I'll catch it on the
reprise
my
that. We
replay.
won't
Toronto
reprise
blue.
that. But
This is
okay.
my Blue Jay blue. This is my Toronto blue. Go Toronto. Go Toronto. Blue Jays. Blue
Uh,
Jays. Oh, wait. Blue Jays. I don't know what the hell's going to
Shut
happen,
up,
man. I don't
Lukey.
know.
yeah, I
I
just
don't
got
know.
off the road. I'm sorry I'm late,
Oh, that's
fellas.
all right.
That's
You're
okay.
out.
That's
That's
okay.
all
Hey,
right.
hey, 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 Luke, come here.
Right now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening? What's happening? What
Lucas.
happening, John? What up?
Well, my
Lucas.
dog is barking. The deer, the outlaw deer.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay.
outlaw deer are out in the high in the garden. They're over by the fenced in area. They're everywhere. And Lukey is, she unfortunately she voted for Trump
Uh,
because Trump promised her that he would get rid of the deer. Well, he has failed.
well,
Yeah,
The
well,
deer are
that must
everywhere,
be
and Lukey
traumatizing.
is,
there's probably
I
even more
mean.
of them. There's probably even more of them now.
If you had something that stank worse than anything you ever wanted to smell in your whole life, marching through your backyard every single day, well,
Mm.
you would get upset too. Yeah,
My old
Yeah.
dog,
what is this?
my old dog, Mister would have taken a bath in it. He loved to stink. Stank was his favorite. I should have called him Stank instead of Mister.
Stank.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that boy,
that
he would
rolls
run
right off
down.
the
He would
tongue.
run down to the
Stank.
common area,
Stank.
back near the, and there was so much mud and nastiness and dead fish and dead animals. He'd be like, yeah, yeah, this for me, and he'd get all that rolling in it and rolling in it, and he'd come home and just stink.
Stank up the place.
I would not let him inside. That's why we got an outdoor. We got that big outdoor pool thing, that bathtub. I just throw his butt right in the bathtub. Like, you ain't going
It's
inside.
stanky.
Oh man, I'd spray him down and just pour like all that
Well,
doggy shampoo all over him, man.
I mean, this, these some of these dogs, their noses can smell 1,000 times more sensitive than a
Oh,
human.
I know.
And so,
What
especially
we
my
smell is
dog is
stink.
part beagle, okay? And
Right.
a
Well, see,
beagle knows,
yeah.
my God,
What we smell is steak. Smells steak, like steak to them. You know what I mean? To them, it's like
Mm,
steak or
or conversely, I
mm.
mean, a really fine butthole, for example.
Yeah, this is a conversation to get through.
Okay, all right. Well, all of a sudden it just got really disgusting. All right, John. I wasn't going to go
Don
there,
taking
but
up arms over here with
one
the
thing
spanking.
I'm gonna shoot out here. I just want to report one thing on the entertainment front. Uh, it was a nice little slip. I actually had been a fan of The Witcher on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. It's a TV
Mm-hmm.
fantasy adventure TV show based on some novels, but
Witcher, yeah.
The Witcher, and they had Henry Cavill playing The Witcher the first 3 seasons, and they bait and switched us, and Chris Hemsworth is now The Witcher. They got, and he really can't. It doesn't lose anything. It really, in
Mm-hmm.
fact, I think Hemsworth is probably. I don't want to beat up Henry because Henry Cavill is making the Highlander reboot, and I'd like that to be successful. I don't want them to shit all over the reboot because I was a big Highlander fan. But
Mm-hmm.
coming up, I watched The Witcher, and I got to tell you, Chris Hemsworth pulls it off quite well,
Yeah,
quite well,
I
quite well.
gotta
I mean,
see
this
that.
guy
I
is
gotta catch that.
very
Gotta
adept.
catch
And the
that.
thing is, physically, Chris Hemsworth is probably the biggest fitness nut you could actually find out there. And he challenges himself. He has a show on Disney called Limitless. And if you get a chance, you should watch the first season.
Limitless.
Limitless. It shows the body's, because he wanted to experiment with the body's physical full potential. Going into swimming in a frozen lake. Like, how does your body react to cold waters over a long period of time? Jumping off a building with a small gliding parachute. How do you control that? There's people that do that. How do you do that? And it all takes place. It's all filmed where his home is in Sydney, and it showed his, basically the front of his house looks like a gym for some of these ninja warriors. I mean, there's ropes climbing. The kids are. He's got the kids working out. His wife is a fanatic workout. They just that's all they do all the time is work out all the time. That this family is just 100 miles an hour, and so is he. And I mean, I'm sure they slow down and take their time and do some fun things. But
I'm sure,
man, oh man, what an amazing thing to find a partner like he's been able to find in his wife that just really accepts all of that, that physical activity. Just she loves it, and he's always in great shape. He does what they tell him to do. I mean, look, he played Thor, and he played Thor exceptionally well. I don't think of anybody else as Thor now. I don't in the Marvel world. Of course, that's just me. That's just me. And I will tell you, there is a new clip. I don't know if John got it. I don't think I got a chance to send it to James. There is a Kickstarter campaign for Echoes of Dread. So that
oh yeah, I know you sent it to me. Yeah.
I don't know if did you see it? Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. Yes.
There's a couple of clips of me, like right when he talks about being old, and I'm running through the woods with a gun, going, "I'm too old for this shit." Yeah, I just love doing that.
Yeah, send me that clip. I didn't get it yet.
I will do that, sir. I will send it, because you can see kind of, it gives you a general idea of the history of Philip Cook and what he's been able to do from the DC suburbs, in Falls Church, Virginia, the films he's been able to put together, some of the series he's been applied, some of the stuff, some of his work is just, it's really above board, Really
so Mike, before we get too far down in the wherever we're headed there, you're in Virginia. James is in Lynchburg.
Yeah, Virginia.
I believe next week is the first election that's taken place since the governor's election, right? Since Trump came to power. And so it's the first referendum, at least in Virginia. That's gonna. How do you think it's gonna? How do you feel about it?
I think the Democrats win, but all except for Attorney General. I think Jones loses. I think Miaris beats him by like 2 or 3 points. That's it. I think it's still going to be close. That's just my opinion. I don't know. The polls have it neck and neck right now, so I don't know. I think we're going to see Abigail Spanberger be sworn in as the governor. I can't remember the young lady who's running for lieutenant governor. That's driving me crazy. What's that?
What's her name? In Virginia, lieutenant governor?
Ghazala Hamdi. Yeah, and she's actually, I think, probably more, her skill set is more into the area of education. And a very, very sharp lady. I read some of the stuff that she unfortunately, she doesn't have the most eloquent speaking voice. And sometimes that can hinder a candidate. It hasn't really hindered her much. I mean, she's done what she can, and I think she's going to be pretty formidable. But I also think so is Spanberger. I think Spanberger's got some ideas that aren't liberal, that aren't conservative. They're just really good fucking ideas. That's all.
I think there's a war against, great war against peace and prosperity. Prosperity is happening, but it's without peace. So there's been it's kind of an effective campaign, to spread a whole lot of collective ignorance and all of these other things that wash over a population to kind of drown it or make it appear to be drowning. AI can do that. You wake up thinking that you're underwater.
James, but
yeah,
but I would, coming off of this last No Kings rally, each time that this happens, and John and I have talked about this, each time that this happens, the resistance gets bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger still.
Mhm.
So I'm telling you right now,
That's the upside. Yeah.
I was so blown away with the numbers for just Culpeper alone.
Mhm.
I mean, we were out there at the No Kings rally, and it was, let me tell you, it was phenomenal.
If that's
Um,
true, why are the polls so close?
for what?
For
Governor.
I don't think the polls are close for governor. I think this
Oh,
she,
I thought you said it was
no,
neck and
no, no,
neck.
no, no, no. This was attorney general. This was
Oh, I'm
attorney
sorry. Oh,
general.
I'm
okay,
sorry. I'm
AG.
sorry.
No, this is
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
because
AG.
I'm sorry.
Jay Jones did a dumbass thing, and he sent a
Yeah,
real
160 miles an hour.
dumbass
Mm.
tweet or text or whatever about
But
killing
yeah,
their
yeah,
opponents or them being Nazis.
but
But
Mike,
here's my point. I know. Here's my point. He sent something. But look, here's my thing. Look at your leaders' tweets
come on, right?
10 years ago. They were
My
a
point
thousand
too.
times worse. Talking about women bleeding out of their holes and stuff. Are you kidding me? And you want to hold James Jones to some standard that he shouldn't be held? Shut up. Stop your goddamn holier than thou bullshit. Because every time I turn around, you're talking about how, oh, you're a patriot and you're America and you're Christian.
Now,
Here. Okay? No,
But you
no,
know what I
no.
find ironic? You know what I find ironic with Jay Jones and all of the fallout from his name, as you know, they attach to his name. They apply the stamp of spoiled rich kid. But see, spoiled rich kid and African American, is Jay Jones African American? Okay, so
James
yeah,
Jones is African American.
that doesn't jive, that doesn't line up.
The math doesn't work.
That doesn't line up.
The math doesn't work.
And how dare the status quo complain about someone being a spoiled rich kid? I thought that being spoiled and rich
Was
in
what it was
America
all
was the way
about.
to go.
Bill
That's who
Clinton.
you wanted to be. That's who I grew up wanting to be, spoiled and rich, just to experience
George
that.
Bush.
But George Bush is a white man.
Damn.
Jay Jones is a black man. It just doesn't square. It don't square. It does not square.
It doesn't. And it also doesn't square when you have an asshole like Jason Miyares coming out in his commercial and saying Jones is unhinged. Are you kidding me? Unhinged.
Wait a minute, but
all you did was lay down for Orange Man.
wait
That's
a
all
minute,
you did.
wait a minute. But how do you in this country, when you're born of a certain paint job, you're labeled unhinged anyway? Well, you used to be.
Yeah,
like when you're born in this country, African American, then you're 99%. Everybody else is 100%, but you're 99. So how it just does not square. And to me,
and I don't think they've reconciled. They can't reconcile with their white privilege. They can't do it.
Come on, man. And so what it is, so that's part of the weaponizing of certain things that people have an opportunity to think about and to weigh in on. And because people are so caught up in the information that they let the misinformation slide by.
Mm-hmm.
You slide this misinformation.
Well, yeah.
By.
I mean, the more
but in
called flooding the zone.
the sliding, you're not sliding it back.
Yeah,
You're
they're flooding the zone with bullshit. They flood the zone every day.
Flood the zone. That's right. There you go, Mike. Beautiful.
Every day. There's another.
Think about
let me do something crazy over here. Let me do something crazy over here, so they don't actually look and see what's going on over there.
Yeah.
So what is actually going on underneath the east wing of the White House, the new ballroom?
The constant tearing apart of norms, the constant ripping down of our legal system, the constant challenging of reality itself, the constant disavowalment of nonsense, of bullshit. Forgive me, but that's all this is. It's
No,
just
no, 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 no. It's
obfuscation.
is there something going on under the East Wing?
There's some, I don't know if there's anything going on.
That's where Jimmy Hoffa is now.
Well, probably.
Is that where he is now? He keeps moving. I thought he was,
I thought he was under Miami Stadium, but that's just.
He's tearing
I
down
thought he
the-
was under the Teamster headquarters in St. Louis for a while, but
he's under the Newark.
No one's ever going to know
jail.
until they know. I'm just saying.
He's
Oh.
under the new jail in Newark.
Shit, he's living in Italy
right.
somewhere, man. He's in Italy under an assumed name, sipping a cappuccino right now, man.
He's under the jail in
So,
Newark, man.
You guys, you crazy. You know what Pope Leo's name was before he was Pope Leo? Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah.
What's going on under the East
I
Wing?
want to thank all the wonderful people who
Yeah,
brought me to this point. I just want to say, I'm happy as your Pope. I'd like to, a couple of things I'd like to do. First of all, look, about your friend Trump, people fall down steps all the time. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
So yes, John.
I don't think we ought to have to cut that particular part out there.
Oh, dude, yeah, cut that out because I don't want to perceive that as a threat. That was me doing an impression of a mob guy taking over the Pope's chair to make a threat towards Trump.
Yeah,
That
right.
wasn't
I
me.
got it. I just want to
I
make sure that we have a footnote
that wasn't
here.
actually me threatening the president. I don't threaten anybody. I don't
Yeah,
even
we
threaten
don't do that
myself.
on
I
this
can't even
show.
threaten myself.
Footnote.
So,
Yeah.
all right, guys, look, we're at the end now. So, James, I know you were on quick. We were here for the time we were here, and I certainly appreciate John's help,
Here.
such that it was. And I want to thank anybody out there that listens to the Last Stop Cafe and enlightenradio.org, where John Case can be found, the original dusty-footed philosopher, and our good friend, Mr. James Boyd, coming on to make the show much more attractive. My name is Michael Cuccherini. I thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Hey, enjoy Halloween and be safe out there, everybody.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, take care. It's late.
All right, have a good week, man.
Everything comes next. Everything.
Yeah, everything comes next.